What is your I don't get paid enough for this shit moment? First day at the health department. I'm left at the reception desk alone, while literally everyone else in the office went out to a farewell lunch for the person I was replacing. As I was on 90-day probation, wasn't yet licensed and badged, my pay was $7.96/HR. I'm sitting at reception, and some redneck comes in with a leaking garbage bag and drops it on my desk. It contains a newly beheaded javelin head. His buddy had been bitten, and it needed to be tested for rabies as soon as possible. I had no ducking clue what to do with a leaking garbage bag of javelin head. He couldn't wait for others to return, so he left a number and split. Turns out, we don't do that sort of thing at the health department. Guy refused to come back. Javelina. Pig-like creature in Central and South America for anyone else wondering. Edit. Southwestern USA too. Also a Texan chimed in and said if you're chased by one, climb a tree and they are good eating. Can be eaten. So up if no rabies you can have a little BBQ. When I was 20 I had 3 jobs. I worked as a bank teller from 8 to 4, then as a closing shift manager at a coffee shop from 5 to 10, then as an overpass janitor from 11 to AM. This wasn't every day, but it was enough that it equated to about 80 hours a week between the 3 jobs. And yes, you can imagine this would lead to burnout real fast. So at the overpass janitor gig, my boss comes over to me and asks me to come to the office for a review. This was weird. All I did was mop floors on a production line that made their train breaks. But whatever. I go into his office and he closes the door behind me and pulls out a gay porn magazine and starts asking me about different dicks and put his hand on my shoulder. I was surprisingly calm and just said I don't like dicks and went back to work. Then it hit me what happened. I called in sick the rest of the week and picked up my final paycheck when he wasn't there. It was a hard enough job without being sexually harassed for $8.50 an hour. Oofed, I did not see that coming. Hope you are okay. Thanks, this was 15 years ago and everything is fine. I have a great career, and that guy was fired after other employees came forward with similar complaints. It was actually a very sad case. He was obviously very gay with a wife and kids. I know he was losing his house to her, and his kid was dying of something, I think cancer. He ended up losing everything, and I think he died homeless. I really don't have any animosity towards the guy. I think he was broken and looking to find a little of himself, even though the way he did it was absolutely wrong. It's just sad. Doing volunteer work and some busybody started bossing me around like they were in charge, a neighborhood association type person. I told them to back the duck off. It took a couple of seconds for people to realize that the person barking orders wasn't a boss, but an asshole that was used to being in control. Edit. I didn't expect this to blow up. Just to clarify, if the person is in a position of responsibility, such as treasurer or coordinator, then they have a reason to delegate tasks to some extent. I also didn't use the words back the duck off. It had the same impact and pulled the rug from under him. I don't think it's nice to be overly rude in return, because a lot of ignorant people are basically ignorant in the true sense. If you find yourself in a position that you're in charge of organizing an event with volunteers, then you'll need to have a degree of humility that isn't often seen enough in business. My brother did jury service when he was much younger, and an older guy on the jury told everyone that he would take the role of foreman of the jury as he had experience of making important business decisions. No debate or anything, he just told them that was what would be happening. When my brother suggested that anyone who wanted to be foreman state their argument for doing so, and then let everyone vote, guess who got the least votes, and then sulked and argued to the extent that the rest of the jury complained to the court officials and had him removed from the jury? Question mark? Edit. I didn't think I was being so cryptic, but lots of people seem to think it was my brother that got kicked off the jury. It wasn't. It was the bloke who tried to appoint himself foreman. My brother was actually really excited and more than happy to be on a jury. Edit 2. It also seems that an awful lot of people would do anything they could in order to avoid doing jury service. Weird. I'd love to do it. Edit 3. This comment has blown up an awful lot more than I expected. To clarify, this was in the UK about 20 years ago. To be selected for jury service is quite rare, in my experience. My brother is one of only 2 people I know that has done it. It is widely considered a civic duty, and whenever I've ever discussed it with anyone, the only people who said that they wouldn't want to do it are self-employed, as they get paid a nominal amount. In the UK, I believe that your employer has to by law pay you in full when you are doing jury service. Personally, I believe that in a modern and civilized society, if you are selected to do jury service, then you have a duty to do it, unless it will cause you great financial or personal/family issues. I used to work at Old Country Buffet, and there were kids who would eat until they threw up like all the time. This one case that is seared into my mind was when I was once fixing up the salad bar, and I heard Billy run. Screamed from an ignorant parent, and then I see this 12-ish-year-old boy running to the bathroom, only he didn't make it. An unholy amount of undigested red jello came exploded out of him like a ducking volcano all over the Caesar salad, the floor next to the cash register, and on about 5 or 6 diners waiting in line to get in. It looked like he had literally vomited his guts out in an arc about 10 feet in diameter. I had to sweep up the chunks with a broom until a dishwasher with a mop could take care of the rest. When I played JV football, most of our team would go after games Saturday afternoon. You can imagine the volume of food about a dozen teenaged football players are capable of consuming. We would eat ourselves sick. I personally threw up ice cream that was still cold in the parking lot. I remember the sensation vividly. I also remember one weekend we'd make burgers stacked 6 or 7 patties high. They kept placing orders for more to the kitchen. Heard one cook yell, "Who are the fat asses eating all the burgers?" I'm so sorry, but I'm shocked this is a somewhat regular occurrence. We at least would make it out to the parking lot before spilling out guts. Kids are shitheads sometimes. I have a mildly irrational fear of spiders. I was asked to help clean out an old storage area/shed type building. It was covered in dust and a ton of these big black spiders, but a big enough space that I felt fine. Until my supervisor handed me a leaf blower and asked me to go through a back hallway with it. Opened the door to the hallway, and it was cramped, just tall enough to be a little over my height and just wide enough for me to walk through. Except there was no light, so it was pitch black, until I held up my phone flashlight and saw the largest mess of tangled webs filled to the absolute brim with thousands of the big black spiders. Straight up refused to walk down that thing, especially with a leaf blower. Like, no thanks, I don't want to create a spider tornado. My supervisor was irritated with me that I refused to do this, but I would rather be fired than walk through the arachnid hell hallway for $10 an hour. Spidernado, bigger and scarier than Sharknado. When a thick stream of sweat drained out of this girl's cell phone case, I had to explain to her that her phone had water damage and that she shouldn't work out with her phone in her bra, all the while trying to be professional and not gag while cleaning the mess. I sold phones at Sprint. I'm told that there would be a small but very lucrative market for that sweat-soaked call phone. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to my channel for more curated daily Reddit stories.